Hi guys, today I'm going to teach you how to improvise a short prelude for the keyboard without the pedals based on the following figure. Let me show you the keyboard that I have. Like this. In one hand you have, in the left hand you have just the bass notes, and in the right hand you have arpeggiated chords, arpeggio notes. These are based from Johann Sebastian Bach's C major Prelude, BWV 924, from the Wilhelm Friedemann Klavierbüchlein, the first one. And it's really easy to do once you master the figure. So in day one of this short mini course that I have available for my email subscribers, it's called Keyboard Prelude Improvisation Mini Course, and it's like a introduction to Prelude Improvisation Formula, longer course, but this is just the basic technique, which at the end of it, of course, you will learn how to do entire short prelude based on this prelude formula figure, right? So this is 9-day mini course, and in day one we just have to master the figure. The mini course is based for the email subscribers, email-based course, but I wanted to create a video tutorial for it as well, just like a musical example how it sounds. If you want to have all the scores and text available to you, go ahead and subscribe. In the description of this video I have the link available to this mini course for free for you as well. So, mastering the figure in day one. Very easy to do because we just have to memorize it, play without looking. And then transpose it to keys up to 1 accidental. So instead of C major, let's play A minor. And notice at the end of it, I raised 7th scale degree to make the chord sound major, dominant major chord. In G major it would sound like this. Alright. In E minor. One more time. Right, maybe a little bit like this. Then what we have here, F major. Beautiful sound in the deep register, and D minor. So always left hand moves in quarter notes, and the right hand notes are arpeggiated notes of the chord, and the chord harmonic rhythm moves in half notes, not in quarter notes but in half notes, because this is 2 beats but 1 chord. Second chord, maybe more chords, but function, entire function is, it's like tonic, dominant, like this. Basically the chords change twice per measure. Okay, now in day 2 I will teach you the opening cadence. We started to build up the prelude from basic blocks, building blocks. And the most interesting thing is opening cadence. Opening cadence is a typical opening formula in many of Bach's pieces, like this one. Remember, I'm taking it from C major Prelude and Fugue, from Well-Tempered Clavier. Right? And of course, in minor, so first we don't need to learn the 16-note patterns, of course. We just need to learn basic chords in A minor. We will call it opening cadence 1 because we will have more of them during the course of the Prelude Improvisation Formula, and we could use them interchangeably to make our preludes more creative, right? Because if you have only one, you have stuck with one formula, but if you have many more, so those preludes become really unique. All right. So we have to practice in C major and A minor, and then commit it to memory, this opening cadence number 1, and then transpose it to keys up to one accidental: G major, E minor, F major, and D minor. Let's do G major, like this. E minor, and then F major, and D minor, of course. Like in all of my tutorials, I recommend to do every step at least 3 times in a row without mistakes, and only then go on to the next step or the next day. Like in day 3, we will learn cadence number 1. Cadence number 1. Before we learned opening cadence, but this is different. Cadence number 1, it's taken from BWV 924, from the same C major prelude that we learned before, that we learned with this formula. From the same prelude, the last basically cadence sounds like this. Right, one more time. And we need this in order to finish our prelude in any other key that we will learn. So we have to memorize it, but only master and practice its chordal outline first, like this. Because in every beat there is one chord. Like this. 1, then of course you can practice in many keys, including keys up to 1 accidentals in A minor as well. Like A minor would sound like this. Like this. Right? If you have trouble committing to memory entire texture, structure of the cadence, maybe just do the chordal outline like I did before, without 16ths, right, at first, and then come back and do the all of the notes. This was C major, A minor. Now let's try D major or G major. It's very helpful to learn the first scale degree of the first chord. So if we come back to the first opening chord, in the right hand we start from the 7th scale degree, and in the left hand 5th scale degree. And that helps us to orient ourselves when we transpose, like in A minor, 7th raised scale degree. G major. Okay, E minor. One more time. And then F major. One more time. And D minor. So you have to basically practice all those keys separately, memorize them, and do them at least 3 times in a row without mistakes. After that, you're ready for day 4, and then we'll have descending sequence. Descending sequence is interesting idea to do the sequence like this. It's taken from another prelude, BWV 926. Basically, cadences and sequences are building blocks of any Baroque style preludes, and you can do that. Like this, easily. All right. So now let's memorize this descending sequence and continue it until we return to C major chord, like this. Entire octave downward. Right, and then of course you can transpose it to A minor, noting raised 7th scale degree in the left hand, and then G major. 1 sharp, and then E minor, F major, if this is too high, you can start here. And D minor. Yeah, basically once you master the sequence, transpose it to the keys up to 1 sharp or flat. Alright. And then in order to use your descending sequence in improvised preludes, you have to know how to connect it to into cadence number 1. So basically we could use like this. Basically the secret is to discover what chord has to be the last one before we use the cadence. Before this chord, before the dominant chord, we need to use a second scale degree chord. And then sequence stops, and then cadence. Right? Like any other sequence, this sequence can also start on the second chord. Basically, starting on the tonic, not on the dissonant chord, not on the dominant 6/5, but on the tonic. Right? So then, if we want to connect it with that cadence, then this is subdominant function chord, second scale degree 6/5 chord, and then cadence. Right? In order to avoid augmented intervals in minor keys, the leading tone has to be lowered, and like only at the beginning and at the end we need raised scale degree, 7th scale degree. Otherwise, later it will sound like in parallel major key. This was in A minor. Okay, master it and transpose it to the keys with 1 sharp or flats. Once you can do 3 times in a row without mistakes, then the next would be ascending sequence. We call it ascending sequence 1 because we will have many. Continue until we reach C major chord, like we did right here, and then we can transpose it. again at the beginning, and at the end there is raised 7th scale degree in minor keys. But in the middle there is like C major, 0 accidentals. Therefore, natural sounding minor would be present here. Natural minor, not harmonic minor. All right, let's transpose it to G major. With one sharp, maybe higher or lower. E minor, sorry. F major. Too far. Until we reach the tonic, of course. And D minor. Right. In order to connect the sequence to the cadence 1 that we mastered in day 3, the second chord has to be chord of the 6th scale degree. So like this one. This one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is 6th scale degree chord, and then tone, cadence 1. Very simple. In A minor, for example, it would sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then with the cadence 1, right? So notice sometimes those chords are major, sometimes minor. You have to be aware of that too, okay? And do it at least 3 times in a row without mistakes. And we are getting closer to bigger picture now, closing cadence. And this is day 6, taken from closing cadence. We will call it closing cadence number 1, because we will have several or many. And this is taken from the BWV 846, like this. Note that above progression is above overhead dominant and tonic pedal point. Typical formula to close many Bach's pieces. So this will work equally well for minor or major keys, but first you have to figure out the structure, right? The bass note is 5th scale degree, so therefore it's called dominant pedal point, with changing chords in the right hand. And then tonic pedal point with changing chords in the right hand part. In A minor, for example, it would sound like this. Note that in a typical Baroque piece, in a minor key, we have to end with the major tonic chord, raising the third scale degree. It's in many cases it's major chord at the end. All right. But of course, you don't have to start like this. You could start with the third scale degree in the soprano, with the chordal third. Right? So, let's do C major. This was, of course, the closing cadence when I started with the dominant chord and the chordal note, chordal third in the soprano. Not this way, this is the chordal fifth in the soprano, but this is chordal third in the soprano, equally well. Example in A minor of this would be like this. And then you have to memorize it and transpose it to both major and minor keys up to one accidental. And so, for example, in G major, it would sound like this. Let's do the first example. An example in E minor, for example. Instead of this, would be this. F major now. And then D minor. One more time, because it's a little more advanced. closing cadence number 1. Okay, so of course master them by practicing at least 3 times in a row without mistakes in every key, in both those dispositions where the melodic third is in the soprano or melodic fifth is in the soprano. In day 7th, you can apply figure 1 to different harmonic structures, right? Just a second. We will have, of course, interesting now application, because instead of chords, we will have, of course, the figure. But of course, it's all in due time. But at first, practice given exercises, which are reductions of Bach's C major prelude from well-tempered clavier, BWV 846A, and 847 C minor prelude. Let's take a look at this. Okay, this is maybe better if I look at it vertically without the need to page turn. One more time. And in C minor, 847 would be like this. Right? So when you can play chordal texture of these reductions with ease, then you can apply figure 1 from day 1, right? But using a little bit faster moving bass, like this. It's more interesting than just right. The half notes in the original will become quarter notes when applying figure 1. In order not to repeat the same bass note twice, you can play the first note an octave lower, or choose the second note from the one of the chordal notes that are being played in the right hand, like we said. this E is present in the right hand part, right? This D is present in the right hand. This D is also present. Basically, you don't jump too much, but just use the next chordal note. Or you can use this one. It's pretty easy to do, just octave jumps. Okay, and of course practice with these, let's say, outlines of Bach's C major or C minor preludes. Let me do, for example, C minor for you. The same could be done in C major. Right, so it sounds beautiful even in this simple disposition. Of course, it doesn't sound like true improvisation because we're using Bach's outline all the time and Bach's figure. But if we start mixing things up, like sequence here, cadence there, mixing from multiple pieces, multiple choices, no, it will no longer sound like, like a piece you would recognize right away. It will sound in the style of Bach, but not precise plagiarized piece. That's the thing about collecting many figures, cadences, and sequences in your bag of tricks. So for now, you only know one or two, right? And therefore, it's a little too obvious. But as time passes and maybe you continue working with these preludes, short preludes, which are later presented in my Prelude Improvisation Formula, then you will find out so many possibilities are open to you, and you can just use in one of the preludes any choice that you have learned before. All right, so now we have only 2 more days left, and in day 8 you just need to improvise chordal outlines. Entire prelude in C major and A minor, and then transposed to the keys of 1 accidental, but no figures, just chordal outlines. All right, everything we learned before, you can do it, right? Opening cadence 1, descending sequence 1, closing cadence 1. Several ones are possible: opening cadence 1, ascending sequence 1, and closing cadence 1. Let me demonstrate. Opening cadence 1, descending sequence 1, closing cadence 1. Very short. If you want to do like ascending sequence 1, you need to start lower because it will go up, 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 up. So like this. You can close with cadence 1, not closing cadence, but just cadence 1. For example, like this. Like this. It sounds beautiful. I have 5 options written for you. Number 4 would be opening cadence 1, descending cadence 1, ascending cadence 1, and then closing cadence 1, like this. Notice that the entire prelude gets a little longer with each version, and the last one is even longer because we use opening cadence 1, descending sequence 1, ascending sequence 1, and then closing cadence 1, like this. So all those 5 versions are possible, starting from the shorter ones, going forward to the longer ones, with one sequence or both sequences, right? And of course, don't forget to transpose to those keys with one sharp or flat. That's very helpful as well. And then the last day, putting it all together, day 9, improvisation of the prelude. Basically, it's very straightforward. In day 8, we mastered 5 structural outlines that we played a moment ago, and then you can do 5 preludes in those keys, right? And I give an example for you with the figure 1, applying figure 1, right? Putting it all together. Interesting. If you have completed all those 8 days, now you have all the material available to do that in the previous steps. So now you can improvise your first prelude. So let's take a look how it sounds. So it will be opening cadence 1, descending sequence 1, and closing sequence 1, the shortest one, basically. Sequence. So that's how you do it, the shortest one. If you want to transpose to A minor, for example, it sounds like this. Yeah, you can, of course, adapt any of those chords that I use to your situation, to what you like, but it's very useful to know and have fun when you're learning to improvise. Of course, I had much fun when I created this mini course, and I hope you did too, if you apply these steps in your practice. It's just the beginning, of course, becoming fluent with this figure cadences and sequences presented in this mini course, which will be building blocks for your preludes. And of course, if you look at other works of Bach, you will find incredible amount of musical material from which you can learn and investigate melodic, rhythmic, and harmonic procedures used in his works. And it's really a beautiful thing to do, to look analytically at these shorter pieces that Bach composed from Wilhelm Friedemann Bach's Klavierbüchlein. And I encourage you to master all these steps in this mini course, and then invite you to join my Prelude Improvisation Formula if you want to learn 15 more preludes, basically, or 16, actually 16 preludes from his Klavierbüchlein, and to have all this material at your fingertips later on, and you can mix and match them all together. It's really incredible. You can then play not 15 or 16, but 160 or even more versions of your own basically preludes in many different keys, not only in one key of one accidental, but the keys with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accidentals. It's really, really powerful. So thank you so much, guys, for watching and practicing this tutorial. I hope this was useful. And of course, look at the description of this video. I have the link available to the mini course, free mini course, and you can check out, of course, once you finish this mini course, then you're ready to go to the larger course, Prelude Improvisation Formula as well. Bye for now.